Drake thought he was ready for a triumphant comeback, but the hip-hop battlefield just turned into his worst nightmare. With anticipation high for his latest releases, fans expected a chart takeover. Instead, they got disappointed. While Drake's new tracks barely made a dent, Kendrick Lamar swooped in like a storm, shattering every expectation and every record in sight. His latest tour dates are selling out in minutes, his streaming numbers are surging, and critics are calling this the defining moment of the decade for hip-hop. But the real twist: Tyler, the Creator, didn't just sit back and watch, he piled on, dropping fresh music and explosive performances that left social media in flames. Together, Kendrick and Tyler have created a 1-2 punch that has Drake reeling. Fans are flooding Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram with side-by-side comparisons, mercilessly mocking Drake's so-called big return while celebrating Kendrick and Tyler's dominance. This isn't just a bad week for Drake, it's a public dismantling of his momentum. And if the numbers keep trending like this, his rivals might just rewrite the hip-hop hierarchy for good. The question now is, can Drake fight back? Or is this the end of his reign? For over a decade, Drake has been one of the most dominant forces in hip-hop, a chart-topping machine with an uncanny ability to blend rap, R&B, and pop into global anthems. From Take Care to Scorpion, he's collected multi-platinum plaques like trophies, built an empire of brand deals, and maintained a fan base so massive that every release felt like an event. But the last couple of years have been different. While Drake has still been pulling big numbers, the cultural conversation has shifted. New generations of rap fans have been rallying behind artists with bolder sounds, riskier concepts, and more daring artistic visions. At the forefront of that movement, Kendrick Lamar and Tyler, the Creator. Kendrick, the Compton Poet Laureate, has spent his career defying commercial trends and still topping charts. From Good Kid, Mab City, to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, his ability to weave social commentary with jaw-dropping lyricism has made him a once-in-a-generation artist. His live performances are more than concerts. They're cultural moments, and his current tour has only cemented that status. Then there's Tyler, the Creator, the genre-bending visionary who's evolved from shock value provocateur to one of the most respected creative minds in music. His last albums, IGOR and Call Me If You Get Lost, didn't just win awards, they changed how people thought about hip-hop's boundaries. Tyler's brand is authenticity, style, and a refusal to play by anyone else's rules. Drake's recent attempt at a big comeback was supposed to remind the industry that he still owns the crown, teasing new singles with cryptic posts, hinting at surprise collaborations, and even subtly throwing shots at rivals. He built anticipation for weeks. Fans expected nothing less than a return to dominance. But the reality didn't match the hype. The songs dropped and fizzled. Streaming numbers plateaued after the first 48 hours. TikTok trends barely caught on, and reviews ranged from lukewarm to brutal. Meanwhile, Kendrick was on a tear, selling out 800,000 tickets in record time and pulling off some of the most talked about live shows of the year. His setlist, stage designs, and guest appearances became daily trending topics. And just as Drake was trying to stabilize his footing, Tyler jumped into the mix with a surprise festival set, a new single, and merch drops that turned into instant sell-outs. It wasn't just that Kendrick and Tyler were succeeding, it was that they were succeeding together, feeding off each other's momentum, while Drake looked increasingly isolated. For the first time in years, the narrative wasn't Drake versus the world. It was Kendrick and Tyler versus Drake. The stage was set for a public clash, not through diss tracks or Twitter feuds, but through the most unforgiving scoreboard in music, sales, streams, and cultural impact. And right now, Drake was losing on all fronts. Drake's camp had built this moment up for months. Cryptic Instagram posts, carefully timed leaks, and industry whispers about a return to form. The plan was simple: drop 2 singles back-to-back, dominate the streaming charts, and set up a massive world tour announcement. But the problem with plans in the music industry: they crumble fast when the numbers don't match the hype. Within 24 hours of release, it was clear something was wrong. The first single debuted high, but not at number 1. The second didn't even crack the top 3. On Spotify, streams started dipping after the first day, a stark contrast to his usual week-long domination. Critics pointed out that the production felt safe and predictable, with hooks that lacked the bite of his earlier work. Fans on TikTok complained the tracks were made for algorithms, not people. While Drake's rollout stumbled, Kendrick Lamar was in the middle of a cultural earthquake. His tour clips were flooding timelines, elaborate stage designs, surprise guest spots, and performances so electric that even rival fan bases were calling them historic. The buzz was relentless. And then came the first twist. Just as Drake's team scrambled to salvage momentum, Tyler, the creator, made an unannounced move, dropping a vibrant, experimental single along with a high-energy video that instantly went viral. The timing couldn't have been worse for Drake. Tyler's release wasn't just well-received, it exploded. The song shot up Apple Music and Spotify's charts overnight, knocking Drake's new music further down the rankings. Social media turned the situation into a spectacle. Fans started posting chart battles in real time, with Kendrick holding the top spots from touring hype, Tyler climbing fast with his surprise drop, and Drake visibly slipping. Memes poured in, split-screen photos of Kendrick and Tyler shaking hands while Drake stared off into the distance. GIFs of crumbling castles captioned Drake's comeback. Industry insiders began chiming in, too. DJs on major radio stations openly questioned if Drake had lost the hunger. Music journalists pointed out that Kendrick and Tyler weren't just winning, they were changing the conversation. Where Drake's new tracks sounded like an echo of his past hits, Kendrick and Tyler were pushing boundaries, blending genres, and crafting narratives that fans wanted to dissect. To make matters worse, even some of Drake's peers began throwing subtle shade. A high-profile producer tweeted, "The game moves fast. You've got to evolve with it." Fans didn't need a translator. They knew exactly who that was aimed at. The competition was no longer quiet or polite. This was a full-on cultural moment, two of the most creative forces in hip-hop, moving in sync, pulling the spotlight away from a superstar who was used to owning it, without question, and just when Drake's PR team thought it couldn't get any messier. An old interview resurfaced online, one where Drake had subtly dismissed Tyler's artistry and questioned Kendrick's staying power. In the current climate, it played like arrogance. The clip went viral within hours, reframing the entire battle as karmic payback. Drake wasn't just facing underwhelming numbers anymore. He was staring down a narrative spiral, the kind that turns a temporary slump into a career-defining moment. And Kendrick and Tyler, they were only just getting started. The numbers told one story, but the culture was telling another. And in hip-hop, culture always wins. By week's end, Drake's comeback singles had slipped further, while Kendrick Lamar's tour footage dominated TikTok's For You page. Tyler's new single had already spawned thousands of fan edits, choreography trends, and reaction videos dissecting every bar. The energy was undeniable. Kendrick and Tyler weren't just releasing music, they were shaping the conversation. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed that Drake's label was in panic mode. Meetings turned tense as execs demanded new strategies. Should he drop a surprise remix, announce a massive collab, push the tour announcement earlier than planned? But rushing would only confirm what everyone already suspected. Drake's grip on the throne was slipping. Then came the shocking reveal. A leaked industry report hit Twitter, allegedly showing pre-sale projections for Drake's upcoming tour. and they weren't pretty. While Kendrick's arenas were selling out in minutes, Drake's numbers looked sluggish in several major cities. Screenshots of the report spread like wildfire, with captions like "The King's crown is heavy" and "Drake's aura fading." Whether the leak was real or not didn't matter. The perception was enough to spark a frenzy. Tyler added fuel to the fire without saying a word. At his next show, he wore a t-shirt that read, "Numbers don't lie." Fans roared. The clip went viral, and hashtags like #KendrickTylerTakeover started trending. Kendrick, on the other hand, didn't need to be direct. During a freestyle in Chicago, he dropped a sly line, "Some kings build castles, some build illusions," and the crowd lost it. Twitter exploded with interpretations, and Drake's name trended again. For all the wrong reasons. Even mainstream media jumped in. Entertainment outlets ran headlines like, "Is this the end of Drake's dominance?" And Kendrick and Tyler are rewriting the hip-hop power rankings. On YouTube, creators began uploading deep-dive breakdowns, titled "The Fall of Drake," racking up millions of views in days. What made it worse for Drake was the vibe shift in his own fan base. Loyal followers who once defended every move were now openly debating whether he had played it too safe for too long. Some suggested he needed to take a year off and reinvent himself, while others argued he should go back to the hunger of his mixtape era. Meanwhile, Kendrick and Tyler were moving like a coordinated storm, selling out shows, dropping surprise merch, and teasing more music without committing to a date. They were in control, and Drake was reacting. In hip-hop chess, that's the most dangerous position to be in. And deep inside OVO headquarters, one question kept echoing through the halls. If Drake couldn't win this battle now, what would it mean for the war? The public reaction wasn't just loud, it was deafening. Social media timelines transformed into digital battlegrounds where every lyric, every chart update, and every viral clip was dissected like evidence. In a high-profile trial, Kendrick's fans, riding the wave of his sold-out shows, flooded Twitter with victory memes, plastering Drake's face on sinking ships, broken crowns, and empty arenas. Tyler's fans weren't far behind, creating remix edits of his latest single mashed with Kendrick's verses, captioned, "This is what dominance sounds like." On TikTok, trends took on a life of their own. One popular challenge saw creators acting out Drake's reaction to Kendrick's streaming numbers, fake crying, tossing fake Grammys in the trash, and ending with a sarcastic "started from the bottom" dance. Even celebrities jumped in. NBA stars like Ja Morant and Trae Young posted clips of themselves walking into the arena with Kendrick and Tyler tracks blasting, subtly signaling which side they were on. The industry chatter was just as brutal. Radio DJs began openly questioning if Drake's music still had the same cultural pull. Podcasts with millions of listeners debated whether his era as the definitive hitmaker was finally over. An anonymous A&R told Billboard, "This is the first time in years where Drake's drop didn't control the conversation. That's dangerous." Meanwhile, Kendrick's peers praised his consistency. J. Cole reposted tour footage on Instagram, calling it the energy hip-hop needs. Tyler received co-signs from Pharrell and Frank Ocean, who hyped up his artistry in interviews. The duo was being framed not just as successful, but as torchbearers for the genre's next chapter. Even advertisers were paying attention. Rumors circulated that certain brands were reconsidering high-profile deals with Drake in favor of aligning with Kendrick or Tyler, whose younger, trend-driven audiences were proving to be marketing gold. In the corporate world, hype equals profit, and right now, Drake wasn't the one driving the hype cycle. Still, not everyone was ready to bury the sixth god. Hardcore OVO loyalists defended him fiercely, arguing that his music was for the long game and that Kendrick and Tyler's moment would fade. They pointed to Drake's past ability to bounce back after setbacks. predicting he'd drop a surprise diss or reinvented sound that would flip the narrative. But the optics were hard to ignore. Every day that Kendrick and Tyler stayed in the spotlight, the perception gap widened. Hip-hop thrives on momentum, and Drake's was bleeding away in real time. The question buzzing in both fan circles and boardrooms was no longer who's winning right now. It was, if Drake doesn't hit back soon, will he even have a seat at the table when the next chapter of hip-hop is written? Just when it seemed like the Kendrick-Tyler tag team had completely seized the spotlight, an unexpected leak set the hip-hop world buzzing. Late one night, an unverified snippet began circulating on Twitter and Reddit. Allegedly, a Drake diss track aimed squarely at Kendrick and Tyler. The audio was low quality, but the bars were sharp, personal, and unapologetically savage. Within hours, #DrakeIsBack was trending worldwide. Some fans swore it was legit, pointing out Drake's signature delivery and insider references only he could know. Others called it a calculated fake, a troll stunt to stir chaos in an already volatile rap war. Regardless of its authenticity, the snippet reignited speculation. Was Drake about to drop a nuke on his rivals? Then came another twist. Tyler posted an Instagram story with just 3 words: "We're not done." No music, no context, just that cryptic message. Kendrick remained silent, but his silence felt loud, like a storm waiting to hit. Industry insiders began whispering that Drake's camp had quietly booked late-night studio sessions and pushed back other promotional plans, possibly to rush release a full response. Meanwhile, Kendrick's team was reportedly in talks for a surprise collab with Tyler, a move that could make any Drake rebuttal feel too little. Too late. The chessboard was set, but no one knew whose move would land first. Fans on both sides were bracing for impact, streaming old diss tracks, breaking down past interviews, and speculating about which personal jabs might resurface. The tension now was no longer just about music. It was about pride, legacy, and survival at the very top of the hip-hop food chain. If Drake's rumored diss was real and hit hard, it could flip the power balance overnight. But if Kendrick and Tyler responded with another dominant moment, Drake's reign could be remembered, not for how it started, but for how it ended. All eyes were locked on the next 48 hours. Would Drake strike back with a career-saving hit, or would his silence seal the shift in hip-hop's hierarchy? The answer was coming, and when it dropped, the rap world wouldn't just listen. It would explode. Hip-hop history is being written in real time, and you're watching it unfold. This isn't just another chart battle. This is the fight for the genre's crown. Kendrick and Tyler have turned up the heat, and Drake is either about to deliver the comeback of his career, or watch his legacy take its hardest hit yet. Every lyric, every snippet, every cryptic social media post is a chess move in this high-stakes game. The question is, whose move will define the next era of rap? Will Drake prove he's still the sixth god, or will Kendrick and Tyler close the book on his dominance for good? Now, it's your turn to step into the conversation. Drop your take in the comments. Who's really winning this war? Do you think Drake's rumored diss is real? And if so, will it hit harder than anything Kendrick or Tyler can throw back? Or is the future of hip-hop already in new hands? Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the moment the next shot gets fired. Because when that track drops, whether it's a diss, a collab, or a complete game changer, we'll be breaking it down bar for bar right here. And if you think this battle is just heating up, you're right. Share this video with your crew, spread the debate, and let's keep hip-hop's energy exactly where it belongs. Raw, it's unpredictable, and unmissable. The next move is coming. And when it does, you'll want to say you were here, watching the game change in real time.